Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Sun Devil Learning Labs. This episode is kindergarten math, and I will be your teacher for today. My name is Miss Kopp, and today we're going to be working on math foundations. That means, what skills do you guys as kindergartners need to know to become really amazing students? Do you know how to count? Do you know your colors? Do you know your shapes? So those are all things that we will be working on today. I'm really excited to get going with our lesson and our game we have planned for today. Like I said, my name is Miss Kopp. That's K-O-P-P. That's me. And this is week 6, day 4 of the Sun Devil Learning Labs programming. So if you've been tuning into our other episodes and you're rejoining us, thank you so much for coming back. And if this is your first time watching, we are so happy to have you. You'll definitely get the hang of it very quickly. We follow a regular routine every episode, so it'll be easy to catch on and catch up. So today what we're working on, our agenda over here in this green box. First, we're going to do a little bit of number work. Then we're going to talk about our tripod grip, about how we hold what we write with. And we're going to do our read aloud for today. Our book we're reading today is called Growing Vegetable Soup. And we have a little game that goes along with that called Making Vegetable Soup that we will do at the end of our lesson today. And then as always, I have some practice for you to do at home to work on those skills. So that's our agenda for today. Over here in the yellow, we have our materials you'll need for today. Your materials. That means what tools will you guys need for this lesson today? So these materials, you'll only need these if you want to practice writing our number of the day. So our number of the day today is the number 9. We're going to practice writing the number 9 in just a few minutes. So if you would like to practice with us, go ahead and pause the video and grab these materials. You will need something to write with, maybe a crayon or a marker or a colored pencil. Then you'll need something to write on. Maybe it's a piece of paper, maybe it's a whiteboard, maybe it's some cardboard from the recycling. Whatever you have is perfect. And then I like to hang my paper vertically when I practice writing. I hang my paper vertically. So I usually use just a little bit of tape to do that. If you want to do the same, then just grab some tape or maybe a thumbtack, some way to hold the paper up on the wall for you if you want to do it vertically as well. So those are our materials for today. Now we're going to talk about our standards. Our standards, that's just a big fancy word for what do the people in charge think you guys as kindergartners need to know? What skills do you need to know? So we're going to work on writing our numbers and understanding our numbers, using numbers in real life. So that's what our game is going to practice with us today. So let's get into it. We have our warm-up here. We always work on our number line at the beginning of our day. Our number line, just like how you read a book, you start at the left and you read to the right. So I put this big arrow up here to remind us that you start at the left and we read moving to the right. So that means we would start at 0 and count our way all the way up to 10. So if you know how to count to 10, go ahead and join in and count with me. You can read the numbers as we go. If you don't know how to count to 10 yet, that's totally fine. Just follow along with us. Maybe rewind the video a few times so you get a little more familiar, or just keep tuning back into our episodes and you'll definitely get the hang of it soon. So let's start reading from left to right. So starting at 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's our number line. We just did it. We read 0 to 10. That's awesome. So number lines are really important because they help us see, they help us visualize our numbers. A lot of the time we're just thinking about numbers and it can get kind of confusing just thinking about things. Sometimes we need to see things. So our number line helps us to see those numbers. It's something you'll be using a lot in kindergarten. So it's good to get familiar with how to use it. So we'll keep talking about our number lines every day, don't you worry, but now it's time to get into our number of the day. So our number of the day today is the number 9. So here's a big giant 9, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is our number of the day today, number 9. So the number 9 is a pretty big number. It's one less than 10, right? It goes 9, 10. So 9 is a pretty big number. We are going to practice first how to write the number 9. So to write the number 9, we need to talk about our tripod grip. That means just like this picture here, how do you hold what you're writing with? So every day we talk about this tripod grip because it's that important that you guys know how to use what you're writing with. So to do a little warm up for our hands and our fingers, it's going to help our hands and our fingers think about how they need to be moving to help us be great writers. So to warm up our hands, it's pretty easy. All you need to do is touch the tip of each finger to your thumb one at a time. So it looks like this: your pointer finger, your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky finger. So you just keep doing it one at a time, one finger at a time. And that's our hand warm up. So you can try to do it fast. If it's too easy for you, try to go a little bit faster, or you can try to go backwards. Start at your pinky, ring, middle, pointer. Then you try to do it with both hands at the same time if you want to make it a little harder. So that's our finger warm up for talking about our tripod grip. So you can pause the video and do that warm up for a little while longer if you want to get your hands moving and a bit more warmed up. But if you're ready to go, then let's talk about how do we actually hold what we're writing with. So to do this, you're just going to take your hand and you're going to use your pointer finger and your thumb. Pointer finger and your thumb. You're going to pinch like this, pinch. We're going to pinch the bottom end of whatever we're writing with. So I'm using these pens. I'm not at my classroom right now, so I don't have my crayons or my markers. I just have these colorful pens that I use at home. So I am using a pen today, but maybe you're using a crayon or a colored pencil or a marker. So you're going to use that pointer finger and your thumb and pinch the bottom end of whatever you're using to write with. Pinch. Once you have pinched it, the last thing we need to do is take this middle finger and slide it underneath whatever maybe it's your marker or your crayon. You just take that middle finger and slide it underneath. So your marker is resting on top of that middle finger. So that, my friends, is your tripod grip. That's what it should look like. You only have 3 fingers. 1, 2, 3. 3 fingers touching what you're writing with. So that's our tripod grip. So when we're talking about writing the number 9, we need to be thinking about how we're holding our pen or our pencil or our marker while we're writing it. So that's called our tripod grip. Don't worry if you don't have it perfect today. That's totally fine, my friends. We are going to keep working on this every single day. So no rush. We will get it eventually. So to make a 9, as always, I have our picture here for us of how to do it, and then also our rhyme to help us remember how to make that 9. So the rhyme says, a loop and a line, that makes a 9. So if you look at our picture, here's the loop. We start right here with the number 1. We start a loop and a line, and that's a 9. So some people draw their 9s like this, how it's kind of curved, but sometimes people draw their 9s, you know what? I haven't hung up my paper yet, my friends. So if you have paper you want to hang vertically, go ahead and do that right now. You can pause the video if you need a little more time, or you can follow me. So I just use a tiny little piece of tape. You really do not need a lot, just one little square of tape. And I am going to hang my paper on my easel. So as you can see, I'm recycling my paper. I don't use a lot of paper every day, so I'm using the same paper for a couple days in a row. Yesterday, we worked on writing the we worked on writing the number 8. The number 8. Today we're working on writing the number 9. So don't pay attention to what's over here in green. Today we're using purple, so I hope that'll help you see it a little bit easier. So remember we're using our tripod grip like we talked about before, and we're going to make a 9. So to do that, it says a loop, then a line, that is a 9. So to do our loop, you're going to start at the top right, and we're going to move left. So you start at the top right and you make a loop, then a line. That is a 9. So that's what I was saying. Some people draw their 9s like this, a loop and a line where it's straight down, and that's how your 9 looks. Some people draw it more with a little curve on the end, like you saw on our screen. Let me show you my screen again so you can see what I'm talking about. So sometimes it has a little more of a loop to it. Some people make it straight down. For you guys, it might be a little bit easier to make it just straight down. So let's practice that. Go ahead and on your own paper, start at the right, the top right, and you move to the left. Make a loop, then a line going down, just a straight line down. And that is a 9. So if you want to take a little bit more time to practice that, go ahead and pause the video here. You can pause the video so you can see my number written here, or we can pause the video so you can see this little picture diagram and the rhyme here too. So go ahead, like I said, pause the video if you want a little more practice writing 9. But now we're going to talk about different ways that 9 can look, different ways we see 9. So here's the number 9, like we were just practicing writing, the number 9. But we've got a couple different 9s around the boxes here, right? So up here we have these white squares. This is called our 10 frame. We talk about our 10 frame a lot in kindergarten. It's really important for helping us count. So this 10 frame, it's called that because it has 10 white boxes that we use to show numbers. So we're trying to show the number 9. So we filled in 9 of those 10 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's how we show 9 using a 10 frame. Over here, as always, we have the letters that make the word 9. The letters that make the sounds for the word 9. So this is that word 9. It's N-I-N-E, 9. Down here we have our tally marks. Remember, we talk about how tally marks are something we use to keep track of something that's happening really fast. So we only have time to make a little dash, a little line. We don't have time to write out the numbers or the details, right? So down here we have 9 tally marks. Remember, our tally marks, when you see one going diagonal like this, kind of slashing its way through the others, that's saying it's a group of 5. There can be no more in there. It's only 5. No more, only 5. So we know this right here is 5 tallies, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 total. And then down here, as always, we have a picture of something with 9 items in it. Go ahead and say out loud if you know what these items are. These are planes. They're planes, and there's 9 of them. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 airplanes right there. These are all different ways that we can see 9. 9, that's our number of the day today, 9. So we will have another number of the day coming at you tomorrow, so keep tuning into our episodes. I'm excited to see which one we will talk about. So now that we've gotten through our warm-up, it's time for our read aloud of our book, Growing Vegetable Soup. This is one of my favorite books probably ever, so I'm really excited to share it with you. Growing Vegetable Soup, it's written and illustrated by Lois Ehlert. So thank you, Lois, for writing and illustrating this. She thought of the words and the pictures. Pretty amazing. So Growing Vegetable Soup, we're ready to work, and our tools are ready too. These are tools that people use to grow plants. They use a rake to make lines in the dirt to plant the seeds. They use a shovel to bury things in the dirt, and a hoe to move the dirt around. So these are their tools that farmers use. We are planting the seeds. Here's a seed package. It looks like maybe those are green beans. They're digging little holes. One seed, look, you can see one seed for each hole. And there's a bunch of different kinds of seeds. There's a green bean seed, a pea seed, a corn seed, and a zucchini squash seed. And then it says right here, this is a gardening glove. So they're wearing special gloves that are used for gardening. And they're planting all the sprouts. So sprouts, remember, are when seeds have grown just a little bit. So they're still very small plants, but they're a little bit bigger than seeds. So we have tomato and broccoli, potato eyes, peppers and cabbage. So they're planting a lot of things on this garden. And giving them water. Water is so, so important for our plants, giving them water. Here's that big watering can. You can see it watering everything. And they've even put in little labels into their garden so they know which plants are which. They don't have to remember, oh, what did I plant here? I don't know what I planted. No, they don't have to worry about that. They can just look at the sign and say, oh, look at that. It says green bean. Now I know I planted green beans here. And waiting for warm sun to make them grow. So remember the two things that plants need. They need their water, which they just got, and they need their sun. That's their food. The sunshine is their food. So that warm sun is helping all these plants grow big and grow some more. Look at how much they grew in just those pictures. Here's before, and here's with some sunshine. Wow. And grow into plants, all the way into plants. So here we can see some big plants. They must have grown a lot. There's zucchini squash. So zucchini squash are pretty big. There's peas, like green peas that we eat. It looks like, look, the plant is even growing so big it's growing around the fence. We watch over them and weed. I don't know what that picture of carrots is doing in the middle of the screen, but this is some broccoli and they're weeding it. So they're making sure if some weeds grow in their vegetables, they're gonna pick them out so that they don't steal the vegetables' food. Until the vegetables are ready for us to pick. So you can see there it is. Somebody's picking them up, picking the vegetables from the ground, picking them from the plants, and putting them into their hand basket. So this is called an ear of corn, a big thing of corn. We see a pepper and a whole tomato bush, Or dig it up. Some food we can't pick and pluck off the plant. Some food we have to actually get into the dirt and dig it out. Like these potatoes they're digging. Potatoes and carrots we have to dig out. And then we carry them home. We wash them. So here's some cabbage, different kinds of onions in their pail. This bucket is called a pail. So first they bring the vegetables home, then they wash them, get all the dirt off of them. Then we cut them and put them into a pot of water. So here's their big soup pot, a big soup ladle, and their knife that they're using. You can see all the vegetables are cut up, right? The broccoli used to be a big piece of broccoli. Now it's cut into a few. The potato is cut into a few pieces, a little slice of tomato. So they're getting all their ingredients ready for their soup. And cook them into vegetable soup. You can see the steam. That's what this white cloud is, the steam coming off the soup. When something's really hot, you can see steam coming up off of it. So that means it's working. The soup is cooking and the vegetables are cooking and it's going to be delicious. At last, it's time to eat it all up. It was the best soup ever. So here's their soup bowl, their soup spoon, and you can see little pieces of all the vegetables that they grew themselves. And we can grow it again next year. So this isn't the only time they're going to do it. They can grow those vegetables every year and be able to make this soup. So if you want, this is actually the recipe that the book gives of how to make vegetable soup. You can screenshot this recipe and try it yourself if you'd like. You can try to grow the vegetables at home yourself and do that part as well. Or you can go to the grocery store and buy the ingredients you need as well. So that's their recipe for how to make vegetable soup. Now we have our own recipe we're going to follow to get ready to make our own vegetable soup. So I want to make my soup, but I need your help getting my ingredients together. So let's check the recipe and get everything we need. So here's my vegetable soup recipe. We'll go through it bit by bit. This is our ingredients. That means what's the food, what goes into it? You know, what food do we need to make it? So to make our vegetable soup, we need 2 onions, 7 carrots, 5 broccoli heads, 3 cabbage heads, 4 green peppers, and 8 tomatoes. Excuse me. So let's go and find these ingredients. First, we need 2 onions. So we're at the store. Here's our basket of onions. There's quite a few onions in there. We only need 2. Go ahead and pause the video and point to 2 onions. What 2 onions should we pick out? 1, 2. There's our 2 onions. So we can check that off of our recipe. We know we have got those 2 onions. Next, for our ingredients that we need is the carrots. So we need 7 carrots. 7 carrots. So here's our basket of carrots. We need 7 carrots. Go ahead and point and count out 7 carrots. You can pause the video if you need some more time. But pick out 7 carrots. I'm gonna go ahead and pick out my 7 carrots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7. There are my 7 carrots that I will use in my vegetable soup. 7 carrots, nice job. Let's see what else is on our recipe. So we've got the onions, we've got the carrots, now we need broccoli. We need 5 broccoli heads. So a broccoli head, that just means a bundle of broccoli. They call it a broccoli head. I don't know why. It doesn't have a face or eyes or anything, so it's not really a head, but they call it a head of broccoli. So we need 5 of these. So go ahead and pause the video and pick out 5 heads of broccoli. 5 heads of broccoli. I'm looking at the broccoli. I wonder which ones I will choose. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my 5 heads of broccoli. Perfect. I'll put those in my shopping cart. Now we've got our onions, our carrots, and our broccoli. So next we need cabbage. So same thing. They call it heads of cabbage. I don't know why. The vegetable doesn't really have a head or a face, but they call it a head of cabbage. So that just means like a bundle of cabbage, a group of cabbage. So we need 3 of those. So here's our basket of cabbages. Let's pick out 3 cabbages. Go ahead and pause the video and take your time to count to those 3 cabbages. I'm going to choose my 3. 1, 2, 3. There are my 3 heads of cabbage. Perfect. So I'll add those to my shopping cart. So now we have our onions, our carrots, our broccoli, and our cabbage. Next, we're going to need 4 green peppers. 4 green peppers. So let's check that green pepper basket. There's quite a few in here. We need 4. So go ahead and pause the video and pick out 4 green peppers. 4 green peppers for our vegetable soup. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. 4 green peppers. So those are going into the shopping cart. Whoosh, add them in there. Next, we have everything except one last item. That is our 8 tomatoes. We need 8 tomatoes. So let's check out that basket of tomatoes and see which ones should we use for our vegetable soup. Let's pick them out. Go ahead and pause your video and pick out 8 tomatoes. 8 tomatoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, we're behind one. 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tomatoes. So now, my friends, we have everything we need for our recipe. We got our tomatoes, so we are set. If you want to actually make your own, you can follow our instructions. It says instructions. That means what steps do you follow to actually make the soup? First, we would wash and cut up all the vegetables. Then fill a pot with water and bring the water to boil. That means it's really hot. There would be that steam coming off of it. And then add the vegetables to the pot. Cover the pot with the lid and let it cook for 15 minutes. Add salt and pepper and enjoy. So there you have it. That is how to make our vegetable soup using those ingredients that we picked out together. So as always, I have some ways we can practice those same skills at home. If you've got some extra time to kill, here are some different ways, different activities to use. So these both will practice counting and number recognition. That means, do you know what a number is when you look at it right away? So the first activity for you, you will follow the directions to count the number of the shapes in each box. Count the objects. Circle the total number of objects and color 1, 2, or 3 to see hidden partners. So, for example, in this box, first we would count the objects. How many are there? 1, 2, 3. So we'll circle the total number. So we said 3. So is it 1, 2, or 3? And circle the 3. And then it says color 1 circle. So I'd color in one of those circles, any color I want, and you just do the same thing until you finish the whole page and you have them all colored in. So to do this, you can screenshot this page and then print it out and color it with markers or pencils or crayons. You can screenshot the page and just edit it on your computer so you don't have to print anything out. Or if you don't have the ability to print it out, that's totally fine. Just do it in your head. You won't be able to color it, but you can still count and circle the total number of objects, right? Whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, you can still do that for sure. So that's our first activity. The second activity works on those numbers and shapes again. And each number has a color, right? So count the objects in each group, then color the group of objects the same color as the numeral card it matches. So for example, let's count how many things are in this group. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4. So if I look at the card that says 4 on it, here's 4, it says red. So I know I should color those 4 objects in red. So you just need to follow those same directions to color in each of these groups of objects. So those are 2 different activities. You can pause the video on either of these slides. Like I said, feel free to screenshot it and print it out if you want to work on it that way. These are totally all for you guys to work on, all to help you with your numbers, your shapes, and your counting. So I hope you guys have really enjoyed this lesson. I had a lot of fun teaching you. Like I said, this whole week is our plant theme week. So tomorrow we're going to have another plant themed activity and read along and game to go with it as well. So if you want to keep on going with that plant theme, tune back in tomorrow for week 6, day 5 of our Sun Devil Learning Labs program. Again, my name has been Miss Kopp. It's been a lot of fun talking to you guys today. Stay safe until I see you next and practice those math skills.